What is AOR? Well, it depends on who you ask. Some of the first results on Google suggest area of responsibility or advanced orthomolecular research. But the first result presents the answer in this case, or rather, two answers that can be used interchangeably: adult-oriented rock and album-oriented rock. And the song I'm about to discuss likely falls into one or both categories. Over a period of 5 days in December 2018, and a few more times in December 2019, a user named Gabor72 posted a staggering 107 samples on What's That Song, 106 of which have been solved. That leaves just one song remaining. That's right, it's time for case file 119174, Just a Game.
And now I know it's just a game, and I don't need the rules to play. Maybe it's happy, maybe it's sad, but you can choose the way to play.
Now, before I go delving into the history of this track, I want to acknowledge videos already done covering parts of the search for this song. I can say for sure that Abstract 2K and Unreal Aired have both covered Just a Game, and you can find their videos in the description below. That being said, I'm hoping to go a bit more in depth here, as well as revealing the number of people I've contacted about this song. I think it'll shock you because when I counted it up myself, it was shocking to me. So, stay tuned. With that out of the way, let's talk about Just a Game. It was such a popular song that when it came time for a song channel poll on FMM Discord, which happens every few months, this song got a channel without a vote even needing to happen, and also got added to the channel Main Unknowns, home of some of the most mysterious or unsolvable Lostwave songs, like the most mysterious song on the internet, also known as Like the Wind, and La Canción de Alicia. So, I think it goes without saying, this song was mysterious, and tons of people wanted to solve it. Wait, if it goes without saying, then why am I saying it? Anyhow, the song started getting attention within the Lostwave community in January 2024, writing high-off solves for songs including Fond My Mind, solved as Feels Like a Wish by Station K, and How Long Will It Take, solved as How Long by Paula Toledo, and found itself with a subreddit dedicated to it very quickly. And while the What's That Song original poster, Gabor72, had long since been dormant on What's That Song, we at least knew a lot more about him than other posters of these popular Lostwave songs. Yes, at least here we had 106 samples to go off of, and those solved samples would mainly inform this search. Redditor wishkres made a post that took an in-depth look at Gabor72's solved samples, and if you're interested, there's a link to it in the description below. The important takeaway from this post were the following. Almost all the solved samples had a vinyl release, and a good portion of these solved samples have been recorded in Italy. Redditor the-arabara also chipped in with Gabor72's other solved samples from the same day he posted Just a Game. Ricky Maltese's It's Alright, Make My Days, Cool Love, Posse's Morning Dew, Denise's Baby, Sissy Brown's Do It, Florence's Hey Hey Hey, Dollar's It's Nature's Way, No Problem, Fellini's Passenger, and a mashup of three artists, Fingers Incorporated, Chuck Roberts, and Rick Astley. Don't look at me like that. I'm not going to rickroll you. Seriously. And early on, two major leads were investigated. The first being the idea that Just a Game could be from some sort of sporting goods commercial. A now deleted Redditor even found a record in the US copyright database titled Just a Game for a Nike commercial, but that was quickly ruled out. The other early lead was a song named Just a Game, released in Germany in 1985 by an artist named Gerd. And though it was pointed out the lyrics in the liner notes didn't match what we had, someone still went and bought the damn thing. And you can find a link to that track in the description below. Then, well, we got to work, both on Reddit and Discord, of going through songs named Just a Game or variations based on the lyrics we have. Rules, Play to Win, Play the Game, Now I Know, Breaking the Rules, Game to Play. All in all, over 30 different songs were looked at, and most have been ruled out. And the remainder are almost certainly not the track we're looking for because they don't match the pattern of Gabor 72's other Saul samples. Meanwhile, I got into the search for Just a Game at the onset. So, of course, I started contacting people like Frederic Slama, who is an AOR artist himself and has been described as extremely erudite and dedicated to obscure and rare releases. Unfortunately, he didn't recognize the song. I reached out to the head of the site melodic.net, they specialize in AOR, but never heard back. And while that would be a bit annoying to me, what wouldn't would be the exact opposite response from Dan, who runs the website Heavy Harmonies, which also specializes in AOR. Not only did he express interest, as clearly he didn't recognize the song, he took the liberty of posting it to the Heavy Harmonies message board, where the only reply was a user saying Just a Game sounded like the song I'm Just Ken from the Barbie movie. But regardless, you'll find a link to the Heavy Harmonies forum post in question. Guess where? The description below, of course. Anyway, as is quite often the case, there was a person, in this case Redditor KrisActavis, who said they were certain they've heard the song before but couldn't place it. But they thought it was from the early 2000s and Canadian, so either a hoax or just plain mistaken. Meanwhile, we discussed the title of the song, already somewhat sure that the title wasn't going to be Just a Game. And Discord user Erin chipped in with a guess that I'm honestly pretty on board with, the title potentially being something like The Game of Life or The Game of Love, because when you look at the lyrics we have, life and love do seem to be the best fits for maybe it's happy, maybe it's sad. Well, that and most Pixar movies. As I continued to contact more AOR experts from websites and YouTube, I got excited when I found an old online AOR magazine, Strutter magazine, because it was run by a man from the Netherlands named Gabor. Was it the same Gabor? You'll have to keep watching, because I heard back first from YouTuber Melodic Rock Feline, but she didn't recognize the song. Okay, back to that cliffhanger. I heard back from Gabor and it wasn't the same Gabor. But he did provide useful insight, saying, quote, sounds like it is from the early mid-90s, mainland Europe, German-Austrian, probably an independent release, as well as providing some somewhat similar sounding bands. This did cause a bit of discussion on Discord, as some of us had placed this song in the 87 to 92 window, but, well, I suppose it wouldn't be unheard of or hurt to consider this release coming from as late as the mid-90s. User SDB posted the information Redditor wishkres had shared about Gabor 72 samples to Discord, coming to the conclusion that the sample was likely recorded in Italy in the mid-90s and the voice sounded Italian, though that would soon come to change. Ooh, what could I possibly mean? Well, here's what I could possibly mean. I continued to contact AOR experts in the search for the song, and one expert, user AORforever on Discogs, provided a reply that would finally give us a small but potentially useful piece of information, saying they were absolutely sure this was a German band, they themselves being from Germany, and saying the male vocalist had the same slight accent many German vocalists do. User AzureBlast mentioned another YouTuber who might be able to help, Sebastian AOR, who, it turned out, I'd already messaged but sadly never heard back from. Then, on March 6th, Redditor AeroPlayer7 would discover that Gabor 72's profile picture on What's That Song had originally come from Facebook, confirming that, at very least, Gabor at one point had a Facebook account. Sadly, we wouldn't have luck reverse searching this image, nor finding it and combing through hundreds of Gabor Facebook profiles in the Eastern Europe area. We also found profiles named Gabor72 on Twitter, YouTube, and even a chess website. The YouTube was ruled out, and the others seem to have been as well. User TSG asked about Allan Jose. Look, I could make a whole video of Allan Jose. He has a YouTube channel, and it has thousands of videos, AOR, 80s and 90s rarities, and I think he could potentially help solve Just a Game, as well as other legendary Lostwave songs such as Tension Rising in the Erin. Sadly, I worked with TSG. We've both tried to contact Allan Jose through back channels to no avail. And because, sometimes Lostwave searches decide to really screw with you, in looking for Just a Game, I found a release with a track called Like the Wind. Yeah, but I quickly concluded that it almost certainly wasn't the most mysterious song. And I found that song as part of a project where I was looking through European releases on Discogs from 1985 to 1998, then narrowed down to bands with more than one vocalist, with at least one male and one female, or bands with no identified vocalists. Oh, and yup, it's in the increasingly long description below. It's open access, so you can take a look. TSG and I took a break to summarize what we knew about Just a Game. Likely German vocalist, OP is Hungarian, song is from the mid-80s to mid-90s, at least 2 but possibly 3 vocalists, probably on vinyl, and may have been released on a vanity label or no label. We talked about how this song could be categorized, if not AOR, power ballad, power pop, hard rock, pop rock, arena rock, or even just rock all seemed possible. Meanwhile, I got yet another reply from an expert that didn't know, Birgitt, who took over running a site called AOR Heaven when the original couple that ran that site retired. Then, on March 23rd, one of the most exciting developments yet. Seriously, I was so excited about this. And I'll tell you about it after I share something that would be even more exciting. You liking and subscribing to this video. And if you're so inclined, clicking that share button and sharing this video with someone else you think might find it interesting. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks! Now, back to that thing I was so excited about. A YouTuber I reached out to, AOR Melodic RockRarities, not only confirming the singer sounded very German, but saying the song sounded very familiar to them and saying they were almost certain they had it in their collection. Sadly, though I've reached back out to him a few times, he's been unable to locate it or provide any additional guidance. But I suppose the silver lining was that we did get confirmation the vocalist on Just a Game is almost certainly German. We kept investigating what we could. Many of us were looking to find Gabor72, while others were trying to think of other people to contact. Discord user number 189 Moon Pilot fan asked me about Leo Gutierrez, who I had in fact already reached out to, and that prompted me to create a list of everyone I've messaged about this song, which user AzureBlast also asked for in order to make sure we weren't going to duplicate efforts. And I'm happy to report that you can, well, say along with me now, find it in the description below. And before the description below goes over the YouTube character limit, I'm going to wrap things up. We're still contacting who we can, and though some are still looking for Gabor72, I'm not convinced that will lead to anything. But at least in the case of Just a Game, where I've literally contacted 30 people, we can see the value of reaching out to experts in the style of the track we're looking for, like learning the vocalist is almost 100% confirmed to be German. So if you know any German vocalists that were part of an AOR group with multiple vocalists in the 80s or 90s, okay, that's high hopes. But if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, ideas, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, I'm PersonOfDistraction, and I'm now listening to.
And now I know it's just a game. I don't need the rules to play. Maybe it's happy, maybe it's sad. But you can choose the way to play. And now I know it's just a game. And I don't need the rules to play. Maybe it's happy, maybe it's sad. But you can choose the way to play.